So our news partners, Just the News, recently reported on a new defamation lawsuit accusing Twitter of, quote, selective enforcement. So this is a complaint, obviously many Americans have had when it comes to this platform, and many believe that they are unfairly targeted, especially if they're conservatives, or at the very least don't seem to apply their rules consistently. This has been an ongoing thing. We've been talking about it for months. But how does this case differ from some of the previous cases that we've seen filed against this social media giant?
Well, a lot of the cases that are filed against this social media giant and others don't have anything to do with anything famous or anybody famous for that matter. This has to do with Hunter Biden's laptop. So that's pretty interesting to the American public. It gained some notoriety, this particular case, throughout the course of the election, but ultimately that inured to the detriment of the store owner of the Mac shop that's out of business because the owner was getting threats. He was really being targeted because he revealed the contents of the computer, not in a way that revealed they were hacked or doing anything illegal. What happened is Hunter never returned to pay for or retrieve the computer. So the FBI seized it. So to spin the story to make it seem like this man did something wrong is the basis of the claim that they're making against Twitter.
Where do you see this headed? I'm always going to ask you to predict.
Yeah. We got to start having me back to see if my predictions are true. Maybe I'll win some prizes or something. But that's exactly, it's the kind of case that is ripe for settlement. And I say that because there's really equities on both sides. On the one hand, obviously Twitter wants to police its conduct and content and make sure that they don't have anything on that's improper. On the other hand, they better be right. And their decisions can't put somebody out of business because they're defamatory in alleging, whether it's discreet or whether it's right up front, that somebody engaged in misconduct, because defamation needs damages. So this man is claiming he was run out of business by what Twitter did and what they said.
And it's different because he's not a celebrity, and there is a difference, to my understanding, when it comes to defamation. Can you explain just real briefly what that difference is?
Yeah, it actually is real brief. If you're a regular person, defamation requires less than if you're a public figure. If you're a public figure, we have to prove what's called actual malice. So it can be proven, but it's a lot more difficult. So the reason that this case is important is this wasn't somebody who was a public figure. I mean, he just happened to be the unlucky person that owned the store where Hunter brought the computer. So that's what makes it, that's actually what brought it into the spotlight. But it also sheds light on this larger issue of what types of things that Twitter covers or when they make policy decisions, because it has to be consistent across the board.